In this video, we are going to look at the examples in section 12.1. We're starting here on page 5, where we're asked to write the roots using radical notation and exponential notation of the square root of 25, the cube root of 125, and the fourth root of 625. And I'll just note here that each of these is equivalent to 5. So, the square root of 25, we can, of course, write this way. That is our radical notation, and that's equivalent to 25 to the 1/2 power. The cube root of 125 is equivalent to 25 to the 1/3 power. And the fourth root of 625 is equivalent to, that should have been a 125 there, is 625 to the 1/4 power. And of course, we can always write this as 25 to the 0.5, and we could write this as 625 to the 0.25, but we can't really do that with 125 because 1/3 does not divide evenly. Moving on. There we go. Next up, we're asked to find two whole numbers that are closest to the cube root of 120. Sorry, getting a fresh sheet of paper for this. Well, the first thing we'll do is just list a bunch of cubic numbers. We start with 1, and then 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, and 5 cubed is 125. So we know that 121 falls between 64 and 125. Therefore, the cube root of 121 is between the cube root of 64 and the cube root of 125. So that means that 4 is less than the cube root of 121, which is less than the cube, which is less than 5. Moving on. Next up, we are asked to write these expressions: the fourth root of the square root of x, the square of the fourth root of x, the square root of the cube of x, and the cube of the square root of x, all in both exponential and radical notation. So use the same page, save some paper. Okay, so the fourth root of the square of x. Okay, well, there's going to be the fourth root of x squared, like that. But that's equivalent to the x to the 2/4 power, which is the same as x to the 1/2. So this is also equivalent to the square root of x. The square of the fourth root of x, okay? So that's the fourth root of x quantity squared, which is equivalent to x to the 1/4 squared, which is x to the 2/4, which is x to the 1/2. So of course this is also equivalent to the square root of x. The square root of the cube of x, this is a little different. So this time we're taking the square root of x cubed. Okay, well, that's the same That's the same as x to the 1/2 cubed, or x to the 3/2. We can't really simplify this any further. Whereas if we take the cube of the square root of x, okay, well, here's the square root of x, and we cube that. That's the same as the square root of x cubed, either way. This is equal to x to the 1/2 cubed, which is x to the 3/2. All right, moving on. Sorry, there we go. All right, so these are the last problems for this section. Just asked to write x to the 2/3 in radical form and the 4th root of x cubed in exponential form. All right, so x to the 2/3 is, of course, our exponential form. But that's saying that we're going to take the cube root of x squared, and there is our radical form. Likewise, if we take the 4th root of x cubed, that's the same as x to the 3/4, or x, if we prefer, to the 0.75 power. All right, that is it for this video. If you have any questions, please get in touch.